One of the biggest wars in the entirety of the gaming industry is the conflict over whether or not the Souls games need an easy mode. And it's one that I think is easy to brush to the side and say that it'll probably never happen. But after seeing this article that we're going to take a look at today, I think those of us that are against an easy mode just lost a lot of ground. And it got me thinking, Elden Ring has reached such a wide audience, and I'm beginning to consider that the golden age of the Souls games and their magic may be on the decline. And I encourage you to hear me out. Last week I made a video talking about the secret to success in Elden Ring and how I believe it's a sense of delayed gratification. And one of the things I talked about there is that this isn't a war on an easy mode, it's a war on the core foundation of these games. Because everything about the Souls games is built on the sense of delayed gratification. How these games achieve their magic is by getting the player invested so much into the objective that they're trying to complete, so that when that objective is achieved, the reward is amplified on an equal scale. Now we as Souls veterans know how this works. We're used to it, but the masses are not. And so they don't see the value in that journey. And so as we go through this article, I want you to keep in mind that it's not about an easy mode, it's about fast tracking the gratification so that they don't have to go through the difficult journey. Keep in mind a visualization of a scale where effort equals reward. And now let's take a look at this. Elden Ring Easy Mode is one of the most popular PC mods at the moment by Jeremy Winslow. Now at first I didn't really think too much of it. I thought, you know, maybe it's just a few people trying to make an easy build on their second or third playthrough. But after I saw the numbers behind this, I'm not gonna lie guys, it kind of floored me. So let's keep reading and take a look at this in its totality. Odashi Kambu's Easy Mode for Elden Ring mod has been downloaded almost 50,000 times since its March 12th debut, making it the Nexus's 5th most popular Elden Ring mod at the time of writing, though the mods above it are cheat tables and togglers. So let's think about that for a moment. The Easy Mode has over 50,000 downloads, and it's the 5th most popular Elden Ring mod, so that means all the cheat engines above that have even more. Now Elden Ring currently has about 200,000 players on Steam, just at the time of recording this, but if we simply look at this from a numbers perspective, potentially that could mean that almost a quarter of the players are cheating their way through the game. Now obviously there's a lot of variables there, but that is a very significant number. So with that in mind, let's keep reading. There are 3 versions of Easy Mode: a damage edit only, a damage tweak plus 10x runes, and Odashi Kambu's personal edit. All 3 do a lot of the same things, like reducing the damage you receive by 50%, increasing your attack damage by 25%, and doubling both your hitbox radius and the amount of health you recover from Flask. These are attractive adjustments that will make even the toughest of enemies look like chumps. So let's think about that for a sec. This mod makes it to where, in a boss fight, you take half damage, except the boss only hits you half the time. You don't even have to make contact with the boss, but you're going to be dealing double damage if not more, and once the boss dies, you get 10 times the runes as everyone else. By the way, this is how 50,000 people played the game. But let's keep reading. Things get interesting when you dive into Odashi Kambu's personal edit version, which makes Elden Ring a total cakewalk. Not only does it defang foes and jack up your tarnished, it also disables mechanics like FP cost for spells and weight limits for equipment, while decreasing the number of materials needed to reinforce weapons to 1. There are some other cool things to point out here and there, such as the mod's buffs to weapon scaling, but suffice to say that not even the newly rebuffed Star Scourge Radahn could stop you if you use this. For folks seeking a more relaxing stay in the lands between, the only real bummer or boon, depending on how you look at it, is that the mod will only work when you're playing offline. That's because you can only disable the game's anti-cheat while playing offline, and you're currently required to do so to use mods. And the creator wrote that it's so everyone could enjoy Elden Ring, not for cheating in online mode. Here's the thing, I believe there's a massive misconception, and this is where I believe Elden Ring fans have failed, specifically Souls veterans. You see, the people that are attracted to mods like these and cheating their way through the game seem to be under the impression that there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, some kind of mystic reward you get for beating the game. But what they don't realize is that there isn't one. The joy lies in the journey. It's the struggle that gives the game meaning. And these people don't know that. All they've ever heard is that the game is hard, but is simultaneously an amazing game. The notoriety of the difficulty causes people to not even want to play the game in the first place. They don't want to go on the journey that we all went through. You see, people like this want to be able to say that they're part of this club, that they've beaten the game even though they didn't go through the trials that we did. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the game at all. It's about a feeling of exclusion. They see all these streamers and YouTubers and people talking about the game on forums and celebrating their victories, but they're not a part of the discussion. And the reason I know this is because the cheat engines essentially write the game out of the equation. And that last line really irritates me. It's not about enjoying a relaxing stay in the lands between, because when you do that, all you're left with is a soulless husk. You've taken away the game's reward factor, the delayed gratification. And this is how we know that it's not actually about playing the game, it's about saying you've played the game. So we as fans have failed. We've communicated the wrong message to all these new players. And this is the main reason why I don't think the Souls games are going to succeed in this mass market. Because essentially they're games built for a time without internet. Now hear me out on this. Once again, it's not about an easy mode, it's about fast tracking the gratification. And this translates to every aspect of the game, not just the difficulty and the boss fights. So let's break this down. It's no secret that the Souls games in Elden Ring don't hit as hard the second time you play them. One of the core pillars that these games are built on is uncertainty. Not knowing what's around the corner, not knowing where to go, and not knowing what the reward is going to be once you overcome this challenge. It's how the games create suspense and isolation. It's how the games have such a bleak atmosphere that we're all addicted to. We love the mystery. But the problem is, nowadays, all the secrets are uncovered within the first week. The wikis have complete walkthroughs ready on day one. The best builds are figured out before the game is even released to the public. And data miners unpack the files and find all the secrets before any natural exploration is required. And these are all much easier than actually playing the game. Everything is fast-tracked, and so the games die very quickly. If you're not someone that's deeply invested in the lore or playing the game through with multiple builds, you can just watch a walkthrough and finish the game in a day. In order to get the best experience out of these games, you have to go out of your way to keep your mind fresh. And this is partially why the early Dark Souls games seem to have such a magic about them that almost feels lost. It's because they came at a time before all this. Those games were a tiny fraction of the size of Elden Ring, yet it still feels like there's a mystery there. Elden Ring not so much, but From Software hasn't done anything wrong. This is simply a product of the times. The games thrive on delayed gratification, and if we continue to take that away, I'm not really sure how going forward the soul is going to remain intact. But I'm interested to hear what you have to say. I want this to be a discussion. This is all simply my opinion on the matter, and I'm very open to being wrong. So, do you think we're siphoning away the soul of these games by making everything easier and faster? Or do you think the Souls games are going to be able to adapt and continue to be these anomalies in the gaming industry as time and technology advances? So let me know that down in the comment section today, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like on it. Also, if you didn't catch the last video I put out, stop what you're doing right now and go watch that. That is one of the best videos I've ever made, and I highly encourage you to check it out. But with all that out of the way, I'll catch you in the next one.